Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at Fu, or INT Fu, who's obviously one of the Dragon Ball Heroes units. And yeah, we're going to be taking a look at just how good he is in DBZ Dokkan battle. So yeah, right off the bat, Fu is a Dragon Ball Heroes lead, 150% now, which is pretty decent. I think, obviously they could have made him a bit more, but it's generally what 130% leads go to with their EZAs. I think for the Heroes category, they could have made them 170, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, overall greatly raises attack and defense for one turn on his super attack effect, which is really nice. Obviously helps out quite a bit. Then we have, Key +1 up to 5, attack and defense of 10% up to 50%, and chance of evading the enemy's attack +10% per time travelers category unit on the team. It being time travelers category is pretty helpful, I want to say. It's always helpful when it's not restricted to just crossover units or to just, crossover units or like heroes units. So it being time travelers is pretty good. He then has an additional attack of 50% when HP is 50% or less, and an additional attack and defense of 50% within the same turn after evading an attack. So pretty good stuff. Obviously he gains a huge amount of attack and defense on super. He's one of those units. So if you don't like those units, or generally you're not a big fan, then obviously you're going to want to prioritize putting him in the second or third slot, but then you don't get the bonus of his potential evasion beforehand. He has Brainiac's Demonic Power, the Innocence, Core Judgment, Solid Support, Infighter, and Shattering the Limit as his link skills, and he has Time Travelers, Dragon Ball Heroes, Exploding Rage, Battle of Wits, and Crossover as his categories, which is all, pretty good, to be honest with you. It suits the Extreme Dragon Ball Heroes team quite a bit. The Extreme Dragon Ball Heroes team is a pretty Brainiac's kind of Cold Judgment centric team, so you shouldn't have a huge issue trying to run that team with his kind of links, etc. I think most players shouldn't have a massive problem with that. As we can see right off the bat, pretty good looking, 110, 118k. That grows quite a bit. The way his passives kind of multiply into each other, especially if he evades, generally speaking, just means that this defense is pretty huge. Obviously, that defense, well, as you can see, attack-wise, 6.5 million. Hello. But yeah, as you can tell, that defense is going to be very dependent on him getting the evasion beforehand. It's not that you need it for him to be good, it's just that it does help. And B, it's dependent on his super. So, for example, if you put him in the first slot, and you're in red zone, a boss that fires a normal at him is going to hit him and hit him hard if he doesn't evade. If he evades and then supers, that damage can be, tremendously reduced. Like, it can go from hundreds of thousands to like almost nothing at all. So it's very, very, I don't want to say difficult. It's just that you need to balance that when you look at him as a unit. You need to assess, that he's not necessarily a great first slot option. He's not going to be the type of unit that you can just run in the first slot, that you can just get results with. You need to accept that with him. But beyond that, I still think he's really, really, really good. As a unit, I think he's great. I think he has a very good kit to offer, as you can see here. Looking at a very decent situation for him. He looks pretty good on like just the surface level. He is getting quite a bit of support here, which is something to evaluate, to hold. It's something that you're going to want to be aware of. But he looks great. Damage-wise, he's looking pretty chunky. He's looking pretty huge. It's just the issue of that if you're going to put him in the first slot to get that evasion, to really augment his damage, then you're going to need to, you're going to need to, how can I say, be aware that you could potentially take a lot of damage, especially in the harder events. Standard events or whatever, you won't have like a huge problem with. You're not going to have a massive issue running him in Dokkan events, or even things like LGE, or even up to LGE GT. But it's just, if evasion gets locked, it's very bad for him. Evasion being locked, obviously not great, like at all. Things like the Broly event, the Red Zone Broly event, just aren't going to work for this guy. Quite frankly, it's, again, not that he's bad, it's just understand the units and understand where the unit's good, where the unit's bad. You don't really want to try and force the unit to be what it's not, and I think a lot of people need to understand that when utilizing him and trying to get the best out of him. But beyond that, he's still very good. At least for me, I think he's great. And yeah, overall, I would say he's a really, really, really nice option for people to run. I would definitely run him. If I've got him, I'm running him. I think he's great in some events. I think his damage can be good. And this is only at 55%. That defense, that damage is just going to look insane when you get some more dupes kind of motoring around with him. So yeah, I think overall he looks really, really good, At least for me, I think he's a really, really, really top unit. I don't want to say, like that he is in any way one of the best units in the game, but I do think he is really, really good. And as a second slot unit or a third slot unit, I think he is fantastic. And if you have dupes in him, you could potentially rely on him to get the evasion in the first slot. Like, yes, there's ways where he can be better. I think for a lot of players, he could definitely be improved. I think, you can always look at that with a unit, but I think he's great. Link-wise, he's got a great link set, especially for the Heroes team. Maybe not so much like on its own on other teams. I mean, Time Travelers, you're probably going to link him with a Heroes unit anyway. That's just how it is. Like, I can't really say that it's a great versatile link set, but for the units that he would link with, or the units on his team, I think it's really good, at least for me. Brainiacs, Demonic Power, the Innocence, Cold Judgment, solid support in fighter sharing the limit. Cold Judgment and Brainiacs gain a lot, like they gain a lot, and they do a very, very good job when link leveling. You also get really good power from Demonic Power, although that one's a little bit harder to get. It's not something you're going to get fairly easily. It is something you're going to struggle to get, like in general. But when you do get it, it's very powerful. It's a very, very strong link. It's excellent. So yeah, there's a couple of things like that. But I think in general, his link set is incredible. It's very, very good. And yeah, overall, I'm just pretty happy with how it's working, with how the whole link set is working, with how everything is coming together. And I think he's definitely worth your time to invest link leveling into. So if you're one of those people, definitely look at link leveling him. I will be. He does grow a lot and it helps him out a lot. So yeah, that's great. It works out great. I think it's awesome. But beyond that, everything else is pretty straightforward. So yeah, nothing else really too much to focus on in terms of his link set. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, take care, stay safe, and as always, bye.